Hey guys, what's up? Bob here. So, just wanted to do a quick video where I talk about 4-axis resonators, because this is the deck that I'm currently running. So thank you to everybody who, said, who suggested this, corrected me on the rulings and stuff. But anyway, what I wanted to do was just talk about, for anybody who doesn't know 4-axis, or, the resonator plays, I kind of glossed over them in the deck profile. So I just wanted to go in a bit more depth in terms of all this other stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and do that now. So basically, first turn play is optimal in this deck. You want Red Resonator and Caribou. Now obviously we've got the Resonator call for searches for that, Tanky for searches for this. Although you don't necessarily want to Tanky for this first turn, if you don't have to. If you've got one in your hand, that's ideal. But we're just going to go ahead and go over some of the plays that you can do with this. And this is literally just with these two cards. So, yeah. Anyway, so say our first turn is Resonator Call and Caribou, which is ideal. And then, let's see, we'll just shuffle this up real quick. So, basically, you just kind of want, you're kind of just these. And then, say 3 more. So, that's just, 3 random cards. So, basically, I'm just going to leave these face down somewhere. Over here, I guess. That's my hand, right? Okay, so get Resonator Call, obviously get Red Resonator because he's fantastic. Summon, activate, and then special this guy. And then, okay, so you're going to want to synchro these guys into a nice Horse Prince. Very cool. Activate, chain 1, 2. So, activate, activate. So this guy goes first because he's chain 2. And you're going to want to set this Tanky because it's a really good card. And then he activates, allowing you to summon this guy. And obviously this guy is going to let you search for a Fire Fist monster. So we're going to get this dragon. He's usually the best one to get. You want to see him early. And even though we're only running one of him, not that I'm going to get into super deck profile stuff, but he's really, really good for pretty much any second turn play. So we've got this field set up pretty good. Then we can just flip this face up, and it's ooh, cool, we got a Tanky search. Let's get Wolfbark, because he's amazing. Activate this, send this, and set this. And then we can just flip it face up. And that's Tensu. It lets us get a normal summon, so we'll just go ahead and summon this guy. And then, of course, we can activate him, set summon Caribou, defense mode, negated effect and stuff. But we can just overlay these guys into a nice Tiger King. And then he gets us a search, so we can just set this. And that's a pretty average field for us, if you just draw the het. But, of course, we also drew, say, a Solemn, a Fiendish, and a Bear. And then, of course, we search this guy. So we've got 4 cards in hand, and then, these 5 on the field. This is going to build up some good advantage for us next turn, because we just get that extra normal summon. If he lives, he's going to allow us to, trade in one of our fire formations for something else. Tiger King, pretty good effect. He can negate every other effect on the field, which is pretty good against Cosmos and stuff, because he can target their ships and stuff, and then just Cardinal them, if you haven't seen Cardinal. So that's a really, really consistent play. And then, of course, we can just back that up with, whatever back row we drew. So, this is a very easy field to make, and then it's okay, I still have a hand. Obviously, this guy can get us some advantage. This guy can build up some advantage, too. So that's really cool. That's, a really, really simple play with, Resonator 4-axis. Let's go ahead and look at something else, because there are some plays that are a little bit different. And, of course, we still have all of the rank 4 shenanigans. You can summon pretty much any rank 4. But, basically, the idea here is that you don't necessarily need to summon, a ton of these things. Just, you kind of build up your advantage as you go. But, anyway, so, let's shuffle these guys back in. Okay, so, sometimes you don't draw this guy, you only run 2 of it. So maybe you have a Tanky and a Resonator Call. That's your, handful of spells. But yeah, that kind of happens. And this is also a perfectly fine starting hand. It's a little bit different. You play it a little bit different because you don't have the, the Tanky to search a Wolfbark. But say you're going second, you get, your 4 cards and then these, obviously, which is pretty good. So you're going to want to, Tanky and Resonator Call, search this and this, respectively. Then, of course, this goes to the graveyard, but this stays on the field. That's nice. And then you just want to do the same play. synchro for your this guy. And then his effect activates, allowing you to summon this. Yeah, he gets this. And of course, Caribou also activates, allowing you to set this. So basically, you've got this kind of on the field. And you can do a couple of different things with that. Obviously, he's still in effect, he's still in play, so you can, if you want, you can pop that and get like a 10 sin and just kind of sit on this. You can flip this up if you want. Just get that extra 100. But you still also have, this guy in hand and your other 4 cards. So let's see what we have. Okay, we got a nice bear. We got double fiendish, Raigeki. So if you want, if you don't necessarily, like say you're going second against something like Pepe or whatever, and maybe they have some scales that you want to get rid of, you can just summon this guy, send these to the graveyard, and summon this, and then just overlay these 2 for Cardinal, and Cardinal can just get rid of all their scales. Or, like, whatever. You can do a lot of different plays with this, and, like, even though this isn't going to be an OTK, this deck isn't really, like, it can OTK if your opponent doesn't have a field, but the deck is more focused on just building up resources as you go. So, like, this would be really annoying to go against, and we still have these in hand. And obviously, if we draw into another fire formation, this guy can get us whatever fire formation we want. So, like, ooh, cool, we got a Wolf Bark. So that can get us, Tiger King, and then we can get a fire formation, get a Tanky Search, swap that for a Tensu, summon a bear, whatever. We can do a lot of plays, basically. That's the idea. So, yeah, I don't know. There's, obviously, like, we're not really going to be talking about, like, the super shenanigans you can get when you draw, like, an instant fusion or whatever, but we do run 2 of it. But, it's just one of those things that you can just kind of build up a lot of advantage very quickly with minimal card investment. Like, obviously, all these combos that we were doing, or, both of them, it's all of these, but both of the combos that we just did were only 2-card combos. So, like, and I know there are 2-card FTKs and stuff that you can do, but this is something really consistent that you can do pretty much whenever you draw these guys. And not only that, but it's one of those things that, like, even if you don't necessarily draw both of them, you can still kind of, like, work around it. Like, say you don't get Caribou. Say you get, like, a bear. You can still go into a nice, Horse Prince. You can still go into Horse Prince with Red Resonator and literally any other level 4 monster. So even if you have Red Resonator in the graveyard, you can instant fusion and get a Norden, summon him back, and then synchro into Horse Prince, and you still get this guy and you get a search off of that. So that's like something that's really awesome. This guy does not, like the non-tuner monster is not specified. Like, it can be anything. The only specification for it is that the tuner has to be a fire type, but that's like whatever. But yeah, anyways, this is basically just talking about like the very, very, very basic combos that this deck can do, and showing you like why the advantage that you build up off of this is really nice. So yeah, that's really all I got. But just keep in mind, like, even when you burn all your cards setting a bunch of background and stuff, almost every card, like, almost every monster in this deck is 2 cards. Like, just, like, Wolfbark is always Wolfbark and a level 4 monster from your graveyard. Of course this is 2 cards. But, Bear can usually get you a Tanky. So that's 2 cards right there, and then Tanky is Tanky and Wolfbark or Dragon or whatever. Yeah, pretty much everything you do just allows you to build up more cards, but they all have to be on the field for it. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not really a ton to say about it, other than, like, that's basically what you do. So, yeah, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Just, like, really, I know it went a little bit long, but it's basic combos with Fire Fist. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later. Bye.